What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to another video. Today you can see we're giving you a progress update on our Vernon Street fourplex. And you can see we've got paint up, we've got our sprinkler system installed, and today we're going to talk about some of the delays that we had with that, some of the challenges, and what is coming up next in this project. As always, we ask you guys to subscribe. If you are a part of our inner circle, there's a new membership that we have created. You get early access to this video, but you also get access to private site tours, courses, members only shorts, and more. So make sure you guys sign up today. Let's get to this video. Here we are on the first floor in the front units, which are our 1-bedroom units. We have our sprinkler system installed. We have our insulation installed. We're going to proceed next week with drywalling the units up. If you guys have looked at the other videos, you know that these are basically apartments right near downtown and right near a major project that is being built in this area dubbed East River. There's a lot of new construction going on in this area. Our key demographic for who we think is going to occupy these units are going to be singles, young professionals, or empty nesters. And that's how we have designed these to feel like apartments. Let me give you guys a quick tour. We're gonna talk about some of the challenges. We're gonna talk about the sprinkler system. I wanted to go into the other unit, the 2-bedroom unit that has the actual fire sprinkler riser, and show you guys how that is designed. But our guys are working in there and they got music and it's kind of loud. So I'll go in there and get some shots, but I'll kind of, talk over it later and give you guys like a little bit of insight on it. This is our kitchen area. This is the wall for our island. So large eat-in island here. And then they'll have blocking installed there for our cabinets. Our range is right there. You see this is a plumbing wall. They kind of scabbed on some extra material so that they could make sure this wall was thick enough for the plumbing and everything. We got all of our insulation in. We got all of our electrical in, all of our plumbing. And the orange pipe that you see there, that is our sprinkler system right there. There we go, zoom in, there we go. All right, so there is one of our sprinkler pipes. So that pipe runs here, and there's 2 heads in here. And then it runs back out that way, and it goes into the other unit. That's how the sprinkler system is connected. It runs off of one unit. We designated this back unit as the connection for the sprinkler system. They have it stubbed out for the water line, but that is how the sprinkler system is running. You see we got all of our ductwork. Change that I mentioned that we're gonna make in the future iterations of these, we will not be using 2x12s, hate 2x12s. So we're gonna go to I-Joists from now on. That is what we're gonna use. It's gonna make running all of our electrical, sprinkler system, all of our mechanicals. We got a lot of mechanicals running through this. It's gonna make it so much easier in future builds. And we do have another one coming. It's a different design, but we have another one coming that we should hopefully be starting probably about the 3rd quarter. We started our replat. We're gonna go ahead and get it all the way to engineering and everything and get it into permitting. And by the time this one is pretty much done, we'll be hopefully moving on to the next one. We should be probably like a 3-month gap between the two. You can see there's a lot of natural light pouring into these units. We have a ton of windows in here. We have these 2 windows here. That's the parking area over there. We have all of these windows in here. We wanted this space to feel light and bright. You get beautiful views of what will be the courtyard when it's finished. And that's what you have on the ground floor. Now we go up to the 2nd floor. So right there, that's our electrical panel. So this is where our breaker box will be. The actual meters are on the side of the building. So one of the great things I love about what the city is allowing us to do with these MUR projects, I love that we're able to stick our meters on one unit. I love that because trying to do them in separate locations, it sucks for townhouses. I wish they would allow us to do that for townhouses, but they don't allow us to do that for our townhouse product. But even though these are townhouses, this is considered one building. It's a fourplex. Here's our 2nd floor. And I just want to say, I might be a little biased, but I love these 1-bedroom units. And the reason I love them is because, well, it's a little cloudy, but when it's not cloudy, you can see downtown clearly from these units. We are really close to downtown, right? We're also really close to the St. Elizabeth's Hospital project that you guys saw on my YouTube channel. We dropped that video in December. You can actually see the brown building in the distance back there behind that power pole. That is the St. Elizabeth's Place project that is built. So that's just across the freeway. And then back out that way is the East River project, along with the golf course that they have over there. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this area, right? All right, now that these units are, closed in and everything, the insulation's in, you can see they're about to finish putting in the ceiling insulation up there. Let's find our sprinkler heads in here. Boom, there she is, right there, hiding the insulation. There's a sprinkler head there. There's our orange pipe. So this orange pipe is called CPVC. That's what they are running in for the sprinkler systems. So we have the CPVC, this is a bathroom, so we have a sprinkler head in here. And since this closet is pretty big, we have a sprinkler head in here, there's a sprinkler head. Let's find the pipe, see where it's going. So it's going there, it's running behind that 2x12. Let's see where she terminates it. So she goes there, and boom, she goes there through to the second unit. So she's going over into the other unit. So that's how they're running a loop there. That's where our washer and dryer is. You guys have seen my rant about pocket doors, but they're gonna frame that out, get our doors in once we get this place sheetrocked up. And I'm really excited about these guys. I really am excited about this project. We've had a lot of interest. We've had a lot of showings. My team just completed some renderings for these on the interior. So we're very excited about these. I really love these 1-bedrooms, man. These are spacious and they feel good. Let's go and look at the 2-bedroom units. This is our 2-bedroom unit. It's kind of laid out the exact same way on the first floor. And then on the second floor, we have 2 additional bedrooms up there with 2 baths. In each of these units, we also have a ground floor powder room, which makes it very convenient if you have guests, so that your guests don't have to go upstairs into your bedroom to use the bathroom because there is a powder room downstairs. Let me give you guys a quick little tour of the 2-bedroom, and then we'll wrap this video up. This is our kitchen area. We have our island here, our wall of cabinets. We actually have a pantry in these units. In the 1-bedroom units, we didn't have space for a pantry, so we put in a pantry cabinet. But in the 2-bedroom units, we actually put in a pantry in those units. That's where our washer and dryer will be. This is our powder room. Now, in these units, we only have this little area where we're getting light from, outside of from the door. It's a little darker in here than I like it to be, but it's the 2-bedroom unit. You do get a bigger unit with more bedrooms and baths than you have in the 1-bedroom units. One of the changes that I would like to make in our next iteration is I'm gonna bump these ceilings up to 10 feet. So I'm gonna make it much taller in here. That'll add some steps. The deeper floor system will add some steps. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna adjust the staircase to make that work. I believe that was the reason why I didn't do a 10-foot ceiling in the first place, was because I was kind of limited on space on what I could do with the staircase. I mean, right now, this is actually looking a little tight. So we're gonna have to measure this and make sure it meets code. If it doesn't, then we're gonna have to make this landing. Oh, let me back up so you guys can see. So this is looking a little tight here. I'm gonna have to measure this. I'm gonna have to get the guys to measure this and make sure this is meeting code, because it doesn't look like it is. We're probably gonna have to convert this landing into a step, so that way we can meet code. So basically all they would do is they would cut this down a little bit, cut these 2x12s down, and make this a landing, and then the last step would be here as opposed to being here. And that's how we would solve our space issue here, because it looks like they might have pushed something over when they were framing, and they have now taken away the required space that we need here. It looks like we're probably about 4 inches short. So I'm gonna talk to my GC about that. And looking at this wall here for the tub, that might be where they came in, because they pushed this tub over so that they can add a duct there, and then they pushed this wall over. So it looks like they might have shortened our landing space here. I'm gonna check with them on that and see if that is the case. Looks like we have a fur down in this bathroom here too. Yeah, I didn't notice that in the other unit. So they added a fur down there. So that right there, that's a fur down. That's our ceiling up there. And then this is where they've lowered the ceiling over the tub area, which is interesting that they did that. So I'm gonna check and ask why we did that. You see sprinkler head right there. We have this bedroom gets one window. It gets a courtyard view. So you see my son's in the courtyard. That's the courtyard down there. And again, when it's not cloudy like it is today, you can actually see downtown out of these windows. That's the closet for this bedroom, and that's the closet for the other bedroom. Here's our electrical panel. Remember, all of our meters are on the side of the one bedroom unit. So we have this bath here for, this is bath 2, or whatever bath you want to call it. It's the bathroom for this bedroom. This bedroom gets 2 windows, gets a little more natural light than the other. They're going to come in and start installing the insulation in this unit. And then once the installation's done and we pass our inspection, then they should be good to go to close it up. There's another sprinkler head there. Didn't check to see, so you can see this one's running right into the front unit. Let's see where this one's coming from. So we got sprinkler head here in the hall. We got a pipe there. Okay, we got a pipe, and there she goes right there. So she's running there into the unit next door, and that's how it's feeding into it. So this is all a loop, right? The riser that I showed you guys in the unit, that's unit D. And unit D feeds all of the sprinkler lines in all of the units, right? So it runs through all of the units, and it's a plumbing loop basically that's tied into the main water supply that feeds unit D. Now, because of that, unit D had to have a bigger water line than units A, B, and C. So unit A, B, and C has a 1-inch line, which is the standard for residential in our area. And unit D has a 1.5-inch line, so they could supply enough pressure to the sprinkler system as it runs through the units. Again, now this is the NFPA 13D sprinkler system, not a 13R. So if it was a 13R, we would have needed a separate water line with a separate water meter just for the sprinkler system, which would have added more costs to the project. We actually got a quote, and the sprinkler system, the NFPA 13R, was going to cost us almost 40 grand to install in this project, as opposed to the 18 grand that it costs to install the NFPA 13D. So whenever you hear from anyone who says things like, oh, the IBC doesn't make buildings more expensive than if you were building under the IRC, that's a lie. Here's a clear example. Because this is an IRC, International Residential Code building, it is allowed to have a NFPA 13D sprinkler system. If this was an IBC, International Building Code, which is the commercial code, if this was a building permitted under that code, the cheapest sprinkler system that they would allow us to use is the NFPA 13R. The NFPA 13R is a more expensive sprinkler system than the NFPA 13D. So just by operating under a different code, you can see how much more expensive it is to build under the IBC as opposed to building under the IRC. And that makes these projects pencil when we're not having to use that more expensive code. That's one of the benefits of, number one, knowing the rules, and number two, understanding them enough that you can explain them to people, which is something that I had to do. We had a project. So here's the thing, under the IRC, it says, they have different fire separation distances based off of whether or not your building is sprinklered are non-sprinklered. If you have a building that is sprinklered, you are allowed to have a fire separation distance of up to 3 feet off the property line. If you have a non-sprinkler building, you have to be 5 feet off the property line. So we were able to exploit this rule in a recent project where we built the Fourplex, and we're going to exploit it in other projects where we have a sprinkler system and push our building closer to the property line, which gave us another 18 inches of space. Now I know 18 inches doesn't sound like much, but as you guys can see, we aren't working with a lot of space. This is a 5,400 square foot lot that we're sticking 4 units on, right? It's not an acre. It's not 20,000 square feet of land. We don't have large lots that we're working on. We're building density on small lots. So every inch matters. So because of us being able to gain that extra 18 inches, we were able to fit a fourplex on a site that we shouldn't have been able to fit a fourplex on if we had to abide by the 5-foot fire separation distance that is required by the IRC code for non-sprinkler buildings. So it's important, guys, to either know the code or work with people who know the code. Thank you guys for taking the time out to watch this video. And I thank you guys for your support of this channel. I don't know if you guys can see, man, I'm thankful. Thankful the Lord allows me to be able to be a part of these projects and be able to do these things in our city. We're not people who sit on our hands, right? If there's an issue, we want to be the ones who are taking action and making changes in our community, right? You can't just sit around and say, oh, it's the hood, it's dirty, there's abandoned houses everywhere. We have the opportunity to buy those properties. We can build new stuff. We can build new housing. We can redevelop the areas. We can help keep people in the areas who are already in the areas while also bringing new residents into the areas, which attract businesses and attract amenities that these neighborhoods need. So I hope that our videos, I hope that our platform encourages you to get out there and put in the work. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure you guys check out our YouTube memberships. We have the Inner Circle, where we offer 2 levels that you guys can get in and get behind the scenes content, early access to videos, and virtual site tours on Saturdays, where we'll show you guys projects that will not even pop up on our channel for at least another 3 to 5 weeks. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. Peace.